Knowing how to sell is a skill that you need to understand if you want to get anything you want out of life. So whether you're selling actual products or you're selling yourself like for a job interview, you've got to understand how to sell because you're going to get what you want if you know how to do it. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to sell a product or an idea to anyone with 5 proven sales skills that I guarantee will help you get the sale if you use them correctly. And stick around till the end of the video because I've got a super old school closing technique that works so well, and I'll share it with you guys at the end. Now, if you just found this channel, I'm Jason with Honest Finance, and I make a lot of videos on different topics that'll give your life and your finances more value. So definitely subscribe if you guys want to, but now let's start talking about how to sell anything to anyone. I had a commission-only sales job for 5 years in my early 20s, and I will be forever grateful for everything I learned in sales because I still use them today. And obviously, being in direct sales taught me a lot of the sales skills that I'm going to share with you guys today, but a lot of the other things I learned had to do with confidence, which is something that's so important as well. I still use these skills every single day, even though I'm not in direct sales anymore, and now I'm going to share them with you guys so that you can learn something new and hopefully grow from what I'm about to share. The very first sales skill you guys need to understand is to take me out of the equation because it's not about me, it's about you when you're in sales. This is a huge one to understand because you've got to give them what they want first before you can ever get what you want, which is what you're going for in the first place. And obviously there's something that you want here, but you've got to understand that psychologically you have to aim everything towards them, and that's going to end up helping you win in the end. Now, the next skill I want to teach you guys about is called painting the picture, and this is really easy to understand. Painting the picture just means that you help them imagine the outcome along the entire sales process, and it makes everything so much easier for both of you. So for instance, if I was trying to talk my wife into refinishing the basement, I would say something like this. Just imagine the movie room over here and a little kitchenette over there that we can make popcorn and we can make a ton of memories for the family by having the basement. By being able to paint a picture for her, she'll be able to imagine the outcome, which is exactly what you want because you're getting her emotionally on board. We all buy things based on emotion, so just make sure to put all of the emphasis on that type of imagination and you're going to end up getting the sale. Now, the next skill you need to master is called assuming the sale, and this is also a psychological one that you've got to understand too. You've got to pretend like the outcome has already happened in future tense in order for this to work correctly. So if I was selling you a car and I was assuming the sale, I would just say something like, make sure when you park your car in the garage tonight that you make sure and push this button because that's going to push the mirrors in and then you won't scratch anything up. So you can see there that I'm just assuming that you've already bought the car, and then on top of that, I also helped paint a picture with the little mirror feature. And if this stuff is making sense to you guys, will you please comment down below and just say, I got it? That way I know that you're understanding what I'm talking about. Now, the next skill on my list that you need to understand is called buy-in, and this has everything to do with getting other people on board and getting them bought into the idea before you actually pitch it to the guy that's going to make the final decision. So let's say that you've got a really good idea at work that you want to implement, but you know that if you go to the boss directly, he's probably not going to take on the idea. All you've got to do is just go around to the different coworkers that you can get bought in on the idea and then have a separate meeting with your boss with all of you together, and you can probably get it done because everybody's going to be in agreement with it. This is all happening because everybody's got a bunch of enthusiasm because you already bought them in, and now everybody can just easily convince the boss to make the decision because everybody's on board. Now, there's a book called Buy-In that goes over this entire strategy, and I'll link to it below in the video if you guys want to read it, but it is a really good book and it explains everything thoroughly, so if this is something you want to do, then definitely check that out. Now, the last skill you need to understand is called KISS, and that just stands for keep it short and simple. You don't want to overcomplicate the sale because every time you do that, you're going to end up overwhelming your customer and they're not going to go with what you're saying because you're just making everything too confusing. The key here is just to make everything as simple as possible for the person you're trying to get on board, because if it's simple, then they'll understand what you're trying to get at and then you can go along with the sale. I mean, seriously, why do you think car dealers do all the licensing and registration work for you? It's because they know that they have to keep everything as simple as possible for the customer, because if they don't and they make everything a little bit too complicated, then the sale is never going to happen. And then here's the old school closing technique that I wanted to share with you guys, and it's called the Benjamin Franklin close, and it is so easy to do and you can use it with just about any type of selling process that you're trying to accomplish. All you do is draw a line down the middle of a piece of paper with the pros and cons on each side. Now you just write down all the pros of whatever you're selling, and in this case, we'll pretend that I'm trying to sell you a house. I'll have you fill in the pros with me on purpose because I want you to come up with all of them on your own, and I want more pros than cons here because that's what we're going for. We'll both agree that the house is close to a great school, It'll hold its value, it's underpriced right now, it's close to your job, it has new carpet and paint, and it's got a 3-car garage. Now have them come up with their cons, which by now you know is only a couple things. They'll write down the monthly payment and the fact that maybe the driveway's got a bunch of cracks in it. Now, because you purposefully made sure that there are more pros on the list, you just circle them all and you say something like, look at all the benefits of this house. Isn't it obvious that you should own it? And because you've got a big list of pros that they chose, they know the answer is to buy the house. Thank you, Benjamin Franklin. Now, there's a lot more information out there when it comes to sales and all the techniques you can learn, but these are the main 5 things that I wanted you guys to get out of this video, and now you've got them. Now, once again, I'm Jason with Honest Finance, and I make a lot of videos on different topics that'll give your life and your finances more value. So definitely subscribe if you guys want to, or I've got another sales video you can check out over here that's also really good as well.